Today we're going to be demonstrating the use of the Smart Pot Fabric Planter and the value and the benefit that this container can have on growing the healthiest and happiest plants in your backyard orchard. Hi, my name is Charles Malky, biologist and plant expert with Ivory Organics, where we grow cool plants, and author of Saving the World with the Home Garden. And it was just a few weeks ago that I was invited to be on the Growing Revolution Smart Pot Cast, and I'm going to be putting a link to that down below, where I was asked a whole bunch of interesting questions that I think will give you a better familiarity about the background and the history of the Ivory Organics company. But today I'm reciprocating, and this is a product I've had for almost a year, and it's only now that I'm sharing it. I was offered 3 of these containers. I'm only going to be using 1 and raffling off the other 2, and I'll be sharing the contest rules in the description below, as well as I'll explain it at the end of this video. So stay tuned for that to get your hands on these excellent containers for, again, growing the happiest and healthiest plants. And I'm going to explain to you just why in just a second. And together we're going to be planting this Sunshine Blueberry, which of all the blueberry varieties, a lot of different growers of blueberries say this is their personal favorite just because they're so fruitful and they are precocious, meaning they fruit very early in their lives, and they're also just such heavy, continuous just producers of blueberries, more so than most of the other varieties of blueberries. So especially for a first-time blueberry grower, Sunshine Blueberry is the way to go. And in the month of August, Ivory Organics has a sale on all of its blueberry plants, in addition to all of its other berries and pomegranate trees that they have available before we receive the fall inventory. So again, for those of you interested in incorporating some more fruits into your backyard orchard, check out ivoryorganics.com nursery selection, where everything is about 20% off right now. So before we up-pot this blueberry plant into the Smart Pot fabric container, let me just share with you a few of the highlights, which you can read at the Smart Pot website. I'm going to put the link in the video description below. But it reads how the Smart Pot works. And number 1 is that it naturally prunes over circling. And many of you have gone to your containers, and when you pull out the container from a pot that it's been in for sometimes as little as 6 months, but especially if it's been there for a year or 2, you'll notice that the roots within it will begin to coil and become root bound. This is an issue you won't have using the Smart Pot. Secondly, it optimized for bigger and more fruit. In case after case, plants grow faster in a Smart Pot than in other traditional containers. With more fingering roots, the entire system can absorb and take in more moisture and nutrients, and the plant becomes fuller with more branching buds and fruit. A Smart Pot filled with a healthy soil mix is often a better place to grow than in the ground. With the Smart Pot, ideal nutrition and ideal drainage helps your plants thrive. A third reason to use the Smart Pot is temperature control. Plastic containers get very hot in the summer when exposed to direct sun all day. The temperature in the Smart Pot aerates the soil, and that means that airflow through the container walls and your potting mix, and this results in cooler temperatures that don't damage your roots. Fourthly, no more overwatering. The Smart Pot's patented fabric is durable enough to withstand the elements and porous enough to release excess water. Without any further ado, let's get potting the smart way. So here's our potting mix over here, which is basically consisting of perlite, vermiculite, and some sphagnum peat moss, and we're simply going to mix these ingredients together. They're at about in equal parts of 1/3 each, and that's going to be our potting mix of choice to fill up these Smart Pot fabric planters. Let's take a look here. Also, it says that it's made in the U.S.A, lead and PBA free and easy to use. Easy to unfold, fill, and plant. Smart Pots help your plants to thrive, promoting exceptional root health and vigorous plant growth for bigger and more abundant vegetables, flowers, plants, and herbs. Stops root circling, excellent drainage, environmentally responsible, performance grade, and helps plants thrive and weatherproof, lasts for years and years, wash and reuse. And so we're simply going to open the pot like so. And we're going to fill it up with our choice soil. Here we go with our Sunshine Blue. The next question we get asked a lot is fertilizer, and we're proud to share that Ivory Organics, unlike just about 95 to 98% of the fertilizers on the market, have all 6 plant macronutrients. Most people are just focused on the NPK, which stands for nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. But the Ivory Organics all-purpose fertilizers include your nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, as well as calcium, magnesium, and sulfur. These are macronutrients, which are elements that the soil should have in abundance for optimal health, growth, and performance, fruiting, flowering, and so forth. So what we're gonna do, and this is a little different for your potted plants compared to your in-ground plants, is you're gonna wanna feed them every single month, maybe a little bit less than the recommended dose, but it's important to frequently feed it. And I like to usually feed my container plants the first week of every single month during the growing seasons, which means spring, summer, and early fall. Make sure you basically sprinkle a tablespoon or two around the topsoil of each of the plants, just like so. And as soon as you go to water, the macronutrients are gonna find their way into the soil. And again, being that the product is organic, it's going to break down and feed the soil biology. So the product, as you can see here, is OMRI listed for commercial organic use, as well as backyard growers that want to grow the healthiest plants. And it also contains azomite, and azomite is simply crushed volcanic rock, which simply gives the plants a lot of the micronutrient nutrition as well. So you're really giving your plants everything when you use the Ivory Organic all-purpose fertilizers. This one here is the super blend, which includes azomite, and then there's the premium blend, which doesn't include azomite and just has a lower NPK value. But again, both products have all 6 plant macronutrients, and we're super excited about the fact that you can use a single product and give your plants everything that it needs. What we're gonna do now is water the plant thoroughly. We're gonna wanna make sure the entire root ball is wet. Once you begin to water, the fertilizers are gonna break down and basically enrich the entire root zone. It's also gonna feed the soil biology, which consists of your earthworms, beneficial bacteria, and beneficial mycorrhiza, which is going to help improve the overall health and life of your plants compared to using synthetic fertilizers, which can harm the soil biology. So this is the healthiest way to grow the healthiest fruits and vegetables and happiest plants, is to feed your plants organically. And you can see at the top, literally seconds later, the entire root ball is now, I don't want to say dry because it's clearly wet, but all that extra moisture has escaped. I'm going to add some more water just to show you how fast. You can see here we're flooding the topsoil, and watch the topsoil drain out of these smart pots. 6 seconds later, it's all gone out of the top zone of the smart pot. The next thing we're gonna do is we're going to whitewash the plants. And this is something that most commercial growers do the day they plant their trees. This basically protects your plants from weather extremes, in addition to protecting them from pests and disease. The pint-sized can of the Ivory Organic 3-in-1 Plant Guard protects your plants from damaging summer sunburn, insects, and rodents. And this pint-sized can make up to 5 gallons of the ready-to-use. Depending on the amount of water that's added to your pint-sized can, you can make a tree paste. You can basically fill up the can. You'll have a solution you can use for painting your tree trunks on your trees within your backyard orchard, or you can simply use some of that solution to make your ready-to-use spray bottle. To make a ready-to-use spray bottle, you're simply going to use about 1/2 to 1/3 of a teaspoon to a 23-ounce spray bottle. And now by spraying the entire structure, I'm getting the leaves and the stems. And you can see basically this milky solution that's happening. And it basically will protect your leaves for about 3 to 9 months, depending on humidity and moisture. And this is going to help the plants better curb weather extremes, and it's also going to help the plant with transplant shock. Another thing that usually takes the lives of a lot of gardeners' plants. And this is a way to basically ensure better survival rates between uppotting and even putting them directly into your ground, is to whitewash the plants right after basically introducing them into their new environment. Another question I get frequently, if you take a look here, you'll notice that there's some blueberries here on the plant. If you're spraying it on your edibles, you can wash the product off with soap and water to also ensure the maximum health and success of your recently transplanted plant. If you happen to see fruit on them, and as painful as this may be, it's a great idea to remove the fruit in the first year, and that'll ensure that the plant's putting its resources towards establishing a better root system and a better plant structure, rather than wasting its energy on fruit that's going to be inferior, especially in that first year. So take that loss initially for the gains that you're going to gain in the years to come by, again, making sure that the plant puts all of those resources you've just offered it towards root development and plant growth. Ivory Organics is proud to be giving away 2 of these Smart Pot containers. All you simply got to do is follow the Ivory Organics Instagram account. Also follow the Smart Pot Instagram account. Those links will be in the video description below. And when you see this particular graphic showing the Smart Pot educational lesson, all you have to do is simply heart it and tag at least 2 of your gardening friends or family. You're now entered in this giveaway, and we'll be announcing the winners within 7 days. All the details will be in the video description below, and free shipping will be included. And we're excited again for Ivory Organics and Smart Pot to be collaborating and bringing excellent gardening products to help maximize your growing successes as well. Quick disclaimer, Ivory Organics was not paid as a sponsor for Smart Pot. We simply are excited to bring the education and the knowledge behind the Smart Pot brand to you guys. And I hope, and I'm pretty sure all of you guys learned something new that can help improve your growing successes at home. If you found this lesson informative and educational, as always, give us that thumbs up. Most importantly, share these lessons with your gardening friends and family. And as always, keep growing with Ivory Organics, and wishing you all happy gardening.